Every day.
Every
We
day.
are live, ladies. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be back. I was out of town for 12 days. I took this wonderful, amazing work trip to Tanzania, Africa.
Wow, a work trip?
Right? A work trip. Can you believe that Pace sent me to Tanzania? I'm like, Pace,
Oh,
really? He's a wonderful man. So
yeah.
Pace sends myself and our team. We went to Tanzania. We did some ministry. I of course missed the social media brain myself, and so I was training college students who are college graduates on social media tactics and strategies and best practices. It was a blessing. And so I'm back, and I missed you so much, Kimberly.
Thank
I
you.
missed you, missed you,
I
missed you.
missed you
Yes.
too.
Big time, big time. And today I'm so excited because we have an amazing guest in Heather Kidu. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Heather, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing magnificent, doing fantastic. And for those who are watching, you'll notice that our wonderful host, Miss Kimberly, she's always brilliant. Today she's in her car. What's up with that, Kimberly? What's going on?
Oh, my roof is getting torn off. I moved today, so I just had movers
Mm,
at the house. It's just like total chaos. So, yes.
right,
So,
right.
disclaimer, I'm a spazoid and couldn't figure out how to turn my settings off. So, I asked for forgiveness prior if you start hearing ding 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 ding, or if you see me have a spaz moment. Yep, that's me
Yeah,
today.
Okay.
Fully
no worries.
transparent and authentic. That's me.
That's good. I love that, right? That's
Awesome. So, for those who are in the chat who are watching, sometimes you're concerned with where Pace is, and I must say, Pace is here in the office with us today. He's hanging out with us
Nice.
with some of the cool kids. Pace literally went out with Saravi and got something to eat and came, and he sits among us. And I think he loves doing that on purpose because, when the boss is here, everyone is sitting proper. And you see how my shirt is buttoned up to the top.
Oh yeah,
no, and
that's
the cat's away, the
right.
mice will play, right? He's got to
Yes,
come in every
yes.
now and then.
Absolutely. So Pace, but he's such a gentle leader. He's wonderful. He's so laid back and chill. I mean, yeah. I mean, he's like, come on, guys. Don't be so stoic. It's okay if
Yeah.
I'm here. So Pace is here in the office. However, for those of you who want to know where Pace is going to be, let's say September, October, November. Right now, we're working on that. We're going to have updates for you guys on the whereispace.com site. Right now, September is, of course, finished. We're in the month of October. And right now, he's just regrouping and planning. And there's so much ahead. For those who are Owners Club members, you got to understand that at the end of this month, we're going to be in Boston. And he is beyond excited about what that trip's going to be like. But without further ado, let's jump into this amazing Q&A. Kimberly, Heather, you guys have a good time.
Will do.
Thanks. And as always, thank you. A huge shout out goes to the Morby Media team as they help spazoids like me as I'm texting and trying to connect with Derek today. Like, can I do this from my car? Like, I don't know how this works. So, as always, I'm Kimberly. I'm your Tuesday Live at 5 host. I have two sides. My real estate side, I close, I capital connect, I consult on different projects. On my non-real estate side, I say I have two sides. My nursepreneur side is I'm a nurse by trade, 22 years and 32 years in healthcare. I'm also a CPR instructor, a coach, an author, a keynote speaker, a podcast host, and I have a ministry here in Southwest Michigan, and I am the mama of two amazing boys. And today I have the privilege of hosting an amazing powerhouse in the community. I love to say her name, Heather Canoe. Welcome. Such
That's
a fun
fun.
name.
I know. I married into it, so it's got a nice ring, right?
It does. I'll never forget the first time I heard your last name. I think it was it Golden Ticket or either Squad Up when I
Both
heard
of those,
Molly.
maybe. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I heard Molly say, "You have the most fun, coolest name, Canoe," and I'll never forget that. And I just was like, "That is a cool name." What's the
Yeah.
origination of your last name, by the way?
I don't have any idea.
Now we're gonna have to Google it. Someone Google
I
it and tell us
know.
in the chats. Like, where did
Yeah.
Canoe come from?
I know. I know. I wish I knew. I need to actually know that because a lot of people do ask me that.
Do they? I'm sure. Yeah, because it's not like a common name that you hear.
No, no, not at
Yeah.
all. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, welcome to the show. So, first and foremost, I know a little bit about you, but our audience doesn't know about you. So, just give us the 411, the Cliff Note version on Heather, what you were doing before real estate, before you got into this cool creative community, and just a little bit about yourself, like where you live and all the fun stuff.
Sure. Yeah. So I live in the Quad Cities. It's on the border of the Iowa and Illinois. It's like the Mississippi
Okay.
runs between us. Yep. So I live in a town called East Moline, Illinois, and it's very small.
Okay.
There are, I think, two sub 2 students within like hundreds of miles of me.
Okay.
Yeah, and as I look out the window, I'm staring at a cornfield. So I live in the middle of the country. It's very nice. Before real estate, which was not that long ago, I owned a CrossFit gym for 10 years. And
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
yeah. So I recently sold my CrossFit gym on Creative Finance to get into real estate investing to start a family
Oh,
business for my family. So I have a son that is in his second year of college. He's 19. And I'm like, why do we spend all this time like trying to teach our kids to soul search and find out what they want to be and they want to, send them away when we could just create businesses and we could all work, for each other and together and it would carry on from generation to generation. And so that's my goal with real estate. I joined sub 2. Actually, I joined top tier TC first. I did a bigger pockets boot camp where I met Molly and Pace. And
okay.
my personality is very type A. So I need to know everything. And I'm like, I sold this gym to get it into like creative finance, but I don't know the back end. Like I don't know the contracts. I used to be a
Mhm.
traditional real estate agent
Okay.
years ago. And so I know that side of it, but this creative stuff is new to me. And she's like, I have a course coming out that you would really like. And she's like, it's going to teach you all the back end stuff, the contracts, everything. And I'm like,
Hmm.
okay. And so, yeah, that's where top tier TC was being founded. And I was jumped on board as soon as it was opened up. And then shortly after, I met some business partners that I now have in the TC Collective. We formed a business together out of top tier TC, and
Okay.
yeah, so we do that together. We're a TC company, and we also do operations for busy investors. We just hired our, I believe, I think we have, let's see, we have 5 TCs working for us now, which is crazy. We started less than a year ago. I know.
Wow.
No. So I joined top tier in August. I joined sub 2 in December, and then I joined Gator in February of this year.
Wow, way to go. Way to just like grab it by the horns,
Hit
man.
them
That's
all.
amazing. I mean, but
Yeah.
you're a CrossFitter, like, and 19 years old, you have a kid that's 19. You look like you're in your 30s or your 20s. Wow, you look amazing. Must be that cornfield
I
smell.
think it's the cornfield glow, right?
Well, I just learned about corn sweat recently. Did you know about corn
No,
sweat?
what is that?
Okay, because I'm in the agriculture world too. So I'm in the state shaped like a mitten. So I'm Southwest Michigan. So I'm really close to Chicago. So I'm only an hour and a half away from Chicago. And
Okay, I'm
so
2
I'm like,
hours from Chicago, so we're close.
yeah, we're not too far, like
Mm-mm.
whatsoever. And so Indiana is right underneath of us too.
Yeah.
So it's called Michiana. And I learned about corn sweat when we had that really humid week. And it's like something about how the corn emits like moisture and it gets trapped up. So it like increases the temperature by like 10 or 15 degrees. Like some
Ooh.
random knowledge you're never going to learn.
No, wow, that's interesting though.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Because you had mentioned corn. So I was like, okay, corn
Mhm.
and CrossFit. There we go.
There we go. Yep, corn sweat, CrossFit. I love it.
So do you miss CrossFit? Because I'm an endurance athlete too. So I've done 3 half Ironman. And actually, Derek,
Woo.
the moderator, I lit it underneath his feet to try out triathlon. He was like, I'm just going to do a half Ironman. And so he's actually training for one too. But we had a lot of CrossFitters that were Ironmen too. So do you miss like the grind of like the Murphs and like all the fun things that you did? Like,
Oh, well, I unfortunately still do Murph. So I still work out there in the gym that I sold about 4 or 5
nice.
times a week. Yeah, yeah. I do their social media and I work out there still. So yeah, I'm still a CrossFitter.
I was gonna say because typically, if you own a CrossFit gym, I already know what you bring to the table, right? Like I already know you're regimented, like you said, you're Type A, so that's like perfect
Mm.
attributes for top tier because we talk about top tier a lot on the lives, and I, being a nurse by trade, I always say that like the TCs are like the nurses' aides of the hospitals,
Yeah,
right? You're always arguing your worth. You don't get paid enough. People are
yeah.
always questioning you. You have to like soothe everybody's, emotions and get them towards the finish line and stuff. And people don't realize that until you have to TC your own deal. And then you're like, I was just telling
No.
this new wholesaler I'm working with, I'm like, next time we're hiring a TC because I'm
Yeah. It does. It gets like people don't understand. It's like we're the instrument passers, right? In the surgery room.
Yes, nice analogy. Yes,
Mhm.
dotting the I's and crossing the T's and making sure that everybody is happy, and then presenting a little package and be like, here you go.
Yeah, honey,
So
here's your little house, right? Yeah.
yeah. So it sounds like you work actually, your business doesn't run you, you're running your business. So congrats on
Thank
cloning.
you.
So we have cloning, cornfields, and CrossFit.
Yeah, yes. I love that.
That's super cool. So what is like your main real estate like avatar as far as like sub two? And you did mention Gator, correct? So you're in all three like me. Like our LLC, my partner and I, Frank, our LLC is top tier certified, but I like TC1, and I'm like, yeah, I can do it, but I no likey. Like, no gracias. But I think though it makes you a better investor overall. That's why I wanted to do it, because like you, I didn't really understand from A to Z of what it looked like. And there are so many moving parts. And I mean, that was detrimental, I think, into tying it all in for sure. So what else do you would do in real estate outside of running like all these amazing business? And what did you say your business is? Top TC Collective?
The TC Collective, yeah,
I
yeah.
love that. Is there a website or anything that you want to drop like out
Sure.
there?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
cool.
certainly will, yeah.
Awesome.
Yep, our website, it's not that hard. It's the tc-collective.com.
I
So,
like it.
yeah, you can find us there. But yeah, so I got into top tier TC to make active income, right? But then also learn the contracts for my own real estate investing. And so
Sure.
I've kind of moved more towards that, where I utilize my knowledge for my own investments, which I
Okay.
only have one, but I'm getting there, right? And then the TCs that we have on our team, they TC a lot of the files that we get in. And the three owners, myself, Daniela Devine, and Rinda Emick, we focus on operations for investors. So we'll go into their business. Yeah. We have an initial consultation basically. And from there, we decide what we see they need help with, and we present that to them, and we kind of move from there. And then the TCs that we have on our team, they TC the files for us. So
very cool.
Yeah, that way. And then, for my own personal investments, I'm looking to do 4 a year. So I have 1 this year. I'm short, right? So definitely 4 next year. And then private money lending. I want to start a private money lending business for my family.
Okay, nice. You sound a little bit like our friend Mary in Chicago, and Molly's joined the TC Collective. Here we go, right down there is the website, so you can. Now, is your consulting on there too when you do these consults for investors? Like, and so what kind of things do you do for that? Like CRMs, you kind of see where they're deficient, where you could add value to whatever they're doing, whatever their goals are, and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, so a lot of the investors that we've worked with and that we've had calls with, one of their main thing is like, they're just inundated with DMs and emails, and they can't keep up with the communication, and they have all these opportunities coming to them, but they're missing them because they don't have the time to answer. They're working inside of their business instead of working on their business. And our main focus is to get them more time back. And that time they need to use to be the visionary, and then to also spend time with the people that they love, because the most of them are struggling to do that because they're constantly working. And so the strategies that we come up with are to help them get that time back.
That's me. So I'm going to have to schedule a consult call with you. That would be great, because I've been trying to figure out how to clone myself. What I have a problem with is so far I can't really train somebody to have the kind of conversations that I have, because I will be on an investor call and then it doesn't end up working out as a deal, but I end up coaching them for something or a CPR or something else. And so it's interesting, because as much as I try to clone myself, I still can't like replicate those conversations, but I would love to speak with you off the live and see how you can help me in my business. I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I know they like these investors, and we're investors ourselves too. So we understand that, and us girls have have run businesses in our past lives. Both of the partners that I have been in the business industry, and they're entrepreneurs themselves. So we just saw this great need, and we're like, we don't want everybody running ragged, right? We want them working on their business and not answering the phones and checking their emails. And that's
Yeah.
one of the major things that we try to offload of these busy people.
That's amazing. And it's so much needed. And it's just, you can take that away from them so they can focus, like you said, on the visionary stuff. And it sounds like your personality too is perfect for that, because you can identify a problem really
Mhm.
quickly, and probably the other girls as well too. And something about women, the dynamics of women, it's just like so powerful, because I work with a lot of women in the ICU, and it's just like, it was just like such a well-oiled machine. Like
Yeah.
teamwork makes your dream work. And it's just like, you know, our brains, I mean, there's definitely like the yin and yang with men and women, because most of my partners are all men, and so like you can see the differences. But like when you get a couple powerhouse women together like you and your team, I mean, miracles can happen.
Good
So
stuff
I'm
done.
excited to
Yeah.
talk to you.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be good. I'm looking forward to it for sure.
So do you have a buy box then? You said you want to get 4 houses a year. Do you have a buy box that you want to shout out there, or is there any particular areas that you're looking for?
So right now we're looking in the Quad Cities, which is our hometown,
Okay.
right? We want to get 4 here before we start investing out of state.
Okay.
So basically like 3 bedroom, 2 bath, minimum of 1,500 square feet.
Mhm.
And it can need some work, right? We don't want to do a total flip, but
Yeah.
value add is good. Yep. And we'll hold
Okay.
them. Yeah.
So you're gonna hold them. What's your exit strategy? Just to like hold them, or like what if something happens, the market changes? Are you interested in long term, midterm, short
I
term,
would say
care
long term and
homes?
midterm. Yep. Long
Okay.
term and midterm. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome. So do you know Mary Krause then? Because she's in the Chicagoland area. I just
I
had
don't
dinner with
know
her.
her. No, I
Are
met
you
with
serious?
No, I
Oh,
don't.
wow.
Mm-mm.
Okay, you definitely need to connect with her, because she's outside Chicago. So I went to the Chicago meetup when Carolyn and I'm having a brain fart on his name. Myron,
Myron,
maybe?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, when they were coming through, and she's just a doll. She actually has a house here in Michigan, and we had
Okay.
dinner last night. She is locked up a duplex that I have under contract. So I'm
Ooh,
going to help her, get, because that's her same goal. She wants to get 4 a year. So you'll definitely have to
I
connect
will.
with
I
her.
wrote her name down.
She's in top tier too. It's
Okay,
Mary Kraus, Kraus. So you'll
super.
definitely have to connect with her. I'm not sure how far away you are from her, but she'd be a good one. You guys would get along great.
Okay, I love
For
that. Love
sure.
connecting with people for sure.
Yeah. And so what is your lending look like? Because I do lending as well.
Nice. Yeah. So, oh my gosh, I'm kind of just working on developing it. I just lent all my money out like within the last 3 weeks, so I have none left.
Nice.
And I'm like, I need to figure out. Yeah, so I need to figure out how to use other people's money
Mm-hmm.
to lend on now that I don't have any. And I went down to South Florida last week to a PML put on by Alexis and Abraham and Julie Burkhardt, and that was amazing. And I learned so much. So my goal over the next couple of weeks is to go through all my notes, and
Mm-hmm.
I did the VIP thing, so I get some calls with them. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, help them or have them help me kind of bounce ideas off them and kind of work on my little lending business. Yeah, so I'm excited. Yeah.
I love seeing the breakout of people in our community too, just
Yeah.
do their thing and like bring other people on. And that's the power of community. It's so cool. Like one minute you're, in Orlando, the next minute you're in a car doing a live.
I know, right? I mean, I think it's amazing. And I think that, I don't know if Pace has ever really sat down and recognized that he has all these little people around him that he's helped create a vision for, right? And then
Yeah.
they've felt empowered kind of by what he's doing. And it
Hmm.
has allowed them to start these other things. And so I think that's amazing. And I don't know if he recognizes that and sees that he's had a hand in some of the success that some of these other people have had.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he has to,
I
right?
hope,
Like, I
yeah,
mean,
I hope.
it's just like the relationships alone. Like, are so valuable to me. I'm very because I don't have a family and I'm like pretty much an orphan. So the people that I have in
Mhm.
my life, they're like my family. And so many of those people are now part of the community, because when you start this journey, you kind of divorce your old self and you
I do.
morph in, and you can't be like, I was just having this conversation with another mom. I'm like, I can't even relate to most people nowadays, because the things that they talk about or entertain, I'm just not interested in. And it's just
No.
like, it just messes up your energy
Yeah,
field. It's just
it
like, yeah, I
does.
can't even, you smile and so it's a very lonely place sometimes. And I think that's not discussed, like how lonely it can be when you're going through that and you're growing. Like I'm in the messy middle right now, where I'm starting to liquidate some of my portfolio to do some other bigger projects and whatnot. But like, I'm like you, I'm from a small town and there's not a lot of entrepreneurs, and it's not very collaborative. It's more competitive. Like people don't share secrets, and it's
Yeah.
completely foreign from what we're used to. And
Oh,
I'm like
yeah.
you. Like, yeah, we have like one over in the next town, Justin Barber. You probably know him.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Um,
Yep.
yeah, so he does a lot in lending. And then the next one's in South Haven, Sherry Lash. And it's just
Mhm.
like, besides that,
There's no
everyone's
one.
in Detroit and they're 3 hours away. So you have to like make your like your little group yourself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It was interesting. My husband would walk by my computer when I first joined Sub 2 and he's like, "Oh, you're on one of your little Zooms again, you know?" And I took him to community camp this year. And so he got an understanding of who I'm talking to on these Zooms.
Mhm.
And he's now very interested in what I'm doing. And it's much easier to grow this type of thing when your partner's interested in it too.
Right, exactly. So how did you actually stumble upon like Top Tier and Sub 2? Did you say it was Bigger Pockets or
YouTube.
okay.
Yeah,
YouTube.
YouTube.
Okay. It's
Yeah.
always YouTube.
It's always YouTube. I was watching Pace on YouTube and then all of a sudden something popped up with Bigger Pockets and I listened to a podcast of theirs.
Mhm.
I think it was one with Pace actually. And at the end, they advertised the Bigger Pockets boot camp with Pace Morby. And I think I had checked into Sub 2 and it was a lot more money than that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start here. It's $500. And if I like it, then I'll join Sub 2. And
Yeah.
so yeah, that's
Okay,
it.
cool. Yeah,
Mhm.
and I started off in Gator and I was just like, this seems to look, I don't know if I'm gonna like it. It's kind of because at the time, like I bought a second house. Traditionally, I end up selling creatively on a land contract, but I didn't know what I was doing. I just was like, God gave me this house. I was on the course of my third half Ironman, and like I just felt called to have a house up there. And I always said it was God's house, and I was able to help another couple that wasn't traditionally the bankable to obtain a house. And it's powerful. People don't realize that creative finance can literally change people's lives. And now
They don't see that.
they
Investors have such a
don't.
crazy name. Like they look at the real estate investors, oh, you're just about the money. I'm like, do you know how many
Yeah.
people have been saved and their lives made much better because of
Hmm.
creative finance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I don't even like call myself an investor half the time. I say I'm a nurse by trade that solves various problems creatively and uniquely based on the situation, because that's
There you
what I
go.
do. Because I think people think like hedge fund and
Yes.
BlackRock and like we're gonna buy. It's like, no, we're like going against those big, like we're giving them a run for their money, house by house, creative house by house. You're like, ugh.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yep, for sure.
That's yeah,
Mhm.
for sure. So tell me about the deal. So how did you find the deal? Give me the 411, the Cliff Note version on the deal.
Yeah, so the deal, I sold the gym, but my son still did weightlifting. I paid for them to do some weightlifting with a buddy of mine down the road at a powerlifting, like Olympic
Mhm.
lifting gym.
Okay.
And so we had always been colleagues in the gym industry. And he's like, "You sold your gym. What the heck are you going to do?" And I think he was trying to recruit me to like help him manage his gym. And I'm like, "No, I'm not doing that." I'm like, "I'm just doing some real estate stuff." He's like, "Well, what? Like, what are you doing?" Like, I'm like, "Oh," I said, "just kind of like non-traditional." He's like, "What?" He's like, "Are you doing like sub 2?" And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Do you know that guy Pace Morby?" And I'm like, "What?" So he's like, "I have the perfect sub 2 property." I'm like, "What?" He's like, I don't know anything about it. I don't want to do it by myself, but I think it would be perfect." And so it ended up being
Wow.
his brother-in-law's house, who his brother-in-law had inherited a house that he actually moved into, because the one that I ended up buying with my partner Jared, it was hexed because he bought it for his girlfriend and they broke up, and so he didn't want to live there anymore. So when he inherited this other house, he's like, I'm living in that house. I'm getting rid of the bad house, that caused the breakup. So we ended up getting the breakup house together on Creative Finance.
The breakup house. So was the breakup house by the cornfield?
It's not. It's in the middle of the city in Moline, Illinois.
Okay.
Yeah, and so it's right there. It's right by a hospital, a Target, Hobby Lobby. Yeah, so it's a perfect place, and we have the perfect tenants. My nephew and two of his buddies are renting from us. So it's
awesome.
Great. Yeah.
You don't have to worry about the 3 T's being like,
no.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Like having to, when you take over like this duplex, like there are some questionable things going on at the house, and it's just like, okay, how are we going to get them out before closing and offer some cash for keys? And so I mean, that's like the perfect scenario, and your gym buddy. So you have your fellow gym dude, and wow. So are you guys working together now, trying to take down more houses, or how did that morph in, or should I say Murph into anything?
I know. One. Yeah, oh, that's good. I love that. Did it Murph into anything? Yeah, we're definitely going to get something else together. We don't have anything yet, but yes, yeah.
Okay.
We'll continue our partnership for sure.
Very cool. So what's the cash flow like on that with being your nephew? Do you want to divulge?
No, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. So the PITI is $1,315 a month, and we get $1,800 a month in rent. So
okay, that's not too bad.
No, it's decent. I pay my son, my 15-year-old, to mow the yard every other week, and it was pretty low maintenance, right? Like it didn't need much work. We cleaned it up, and that was pretty much all it has needed. So
okay, nice. Yeah. That's like the perfect scenario when you can just slap some paint or some,
we didn't even have to paint. They had Yeah, we didn't have to paint. We had to clean, like vacuum, clean the floors, clean the kitchen, and yeah, that was it.
Wow. And what's the interest rate on that?
3.4%.
Nice. Very, very cool. Wow.
Yeah.
That's like the perfect, like the deal, like literally fell in your lap. Like it doesn't get any like better than that. So what are you trying to do now to actually like get those leads to get those 4 houses per year? Do you have a strategy, or are you just organically like me, like it'll come to me?
I feel a little bit like you, but I feel like I've learned that talking about what I'm doing more personally on my personal social media, not just business ones, is important, because if I wouldn't have told my partner what I was doing, he would have had no idea, and he would have brought that up to me. And so I feel like being religious about talking about these things to people around you and on your social media so they can see it.
And I like the hat too, because someone can say, well, what's the TC? Then you can say, well, how much time do you have?
Yeah, exactly. I like that answer for sure.
And you don't know where your next deal is. It could be sitting next to you, like at the grocery store or at your kid's game. Like you don't know. Like the duplex that we got under contract, it was a Texas wholesaler, and for whatever reason, they thought they were calling somewhere in Texas. And they're like, no, dude, I'm in Michigan, but I have something to sell. They're like, ooh, well, what do you have to sell? So he made a post and said, hey, I'm new to the Michigan market. What does this look like? I'm like, ooh, come this way. It's in the next town over. I can tell you all about it. And so, I went over and I met the owner. We walked the property, got under contract, and then assigned it to Mary so she can meet her quota of 4.
Yes. See?
Yeah.
I love that. I know, you just never know. And, so now my husband, I've been teaching him, he's looking at on-market properties for high equity. So we could consider offer seller finance to people. So yeah, I love it. It's great.
And when you're ready to move outside of your area, like Indiana is another, like the areas by me, like Notre Dame and South Bend and Mishawaka, like there's hospitals and universities, lots of exit strategies and different asset classes of houses too. Everywhere from like A, B, C, Section 8 is huge, care homes, sober living, and it's a red state. So not that I'm political, because it's like picking your best cancer, right? Like which cancer do you want today?
Right. Yeah, I agree.
But still, their tenant laws are different than being in a blue state like Michigan. Yeah, when I post on my regular Facebook, people start asking questions about what I'm doing. This is from Patrick. And yeah, that's
Yeah,
and it can happen
sure.
so organic and people are in your inbox and like I don't know how many times I've ran across you, but I haven't even had a conversation with you and you're like literally like my neighbor.
Right. I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
That's insane. Do you go to the Chicago meetups at all?
So I haven't been to one yet. They've fallen on days that I can't make it, but I definitely intend to do that. They had a big one, I
Okay.
think, just this last weekend, which I wanted to go to, but it was my son's homecoming, so I could not.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
mom duties. So you have two other kids, right? I think I saw pictures of them for homecoming on Facebook. And how
Mm.
old are your other kids? 15 and
So I have two boys. I have a 15-year-old and a 19-year-old.
you're a busy mama.
Mhm.
Dang. Is the
Yeah.
15-year-old interested? You said that he mows the lawn. Is he interested in doing anything else entrepreneurial or like real estate or is
No,
that blossomed?
so my oldest son wants to get into the lending business with me. So we've talked about
Oh,
that. So
cool.
I'm super excited about that. When he graduates college, he's a golfer, so he's going to finish that out so he gets to golf, right? He's kind of living the dream right now.
Sounds like it. I heard there's a lot of big scholarships in golf too, because
Yeah,
my kid just came home. Was like, Mom, I think I'm going to do golf this year
you
because there's
should.
lots of scholarships. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever
It's
keeps you busy and
so fun to
happy.
watch. I mean, I enjoy walking around in nice looking places and, just it's fun.
Yes, the
Yeah.
country clubs are really, really nice for sure. And Kate says, "Hi, fam. This is awesome. Hey,
Yeah.
Kat. Thanks for tuning in." And
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with you. Like going to like golf courses, like that could be your next private capital. Like
You
just
meet
sitting
so many
there.
people.
Yes, right,
Mhm.
exactly. And it's a good spot because I've met some good ones. That and airports, those are two
Yes.
underrated.
Yes, I know. Yeah, we have this little QR code on our shirt because if we meet someone, we're like, scan our shirt.
That's nice.
Hmm.
That's very cool. It's like hacking. It reminds me of the smart things that you have to biohack when you're doing
Yes.
endurance, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Always circling back to endurance and CrossFit.
Mhm. It all comes back to that.
Yeah, it's funny because I've had so many people. I have a lot of friends that are CrossFitters, and they always try to get me to go. They're like, "But you're an endurance athlete." I'm like, "Yeah, but that's a whole different kind of crazy." Like, you talk
Yeah, I
about swimming,
agree.
biking, running 70.3 miles. That's great, but that stuff that you guys are doing, like, oh, I don't know.
Like we're sprinters, you're like the long haul. You're doing the distance thing.
Yeah, yeah, slow and
Mhm.
steady, yeah, and with like little areas of like, burst or
Yeah.
whatnot. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
very, very cool. So what are your next plans? What are your plans like with your businesses? It sounds like you're definitely like growing the TC business. What do you see yourself like for short term, midterm? Like what are some of your goals that you want to put out there into the universe?
Yeah, yeah. So I'll be starting my lending business personally. So I'll be looking for people who want to lend money. And
Hmm.
then for the TC Collective, we are helping. Like we're always looking for files. So anybody who has files that they need TC'd, we have a team that has a diverse background. So there's nothing that we haven't seen,
Cool.
regards to contract types. So we're always looking for files to TC. And then investors we can help on a consultative basis, help
Mhm.
them in their business. So definitely looking to be able to help some more investors too.
Awesome. So do you have like an intake form if someone goes to that website that we
Yes.
listed there and they can fill it out? Great. And it like goes to your little CRM because you're so operational and
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. And then we'll give them a call and we'll schedule a consult.
Nice. Very, very, very cool.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about real estate because there's so many ways to make money in it. If you get like tired of one thing because you're getting burnt out, then
Yeah.
you can like, okay, well, I'm going to focus on my lending business or I'm going to focus on this or I'm going to like every now and then I'll wholesale. And I think it keeps it fresh so you're not like locked into like one modality. You
I
have
agree.
more. Yes. Yeah,
It's
for
not like
sure.
working for a place for like 20 some years where you end up being bored.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I was when I was in nursing, I always like hopped around and people are like, "Why are you always moving around?" I'm like, "Because I always am seeking knowledge and I always want to learn to get, to know more and get better and
Yeah.
know how to treat, a variety of patients. It just makes you a better nurse. And same thing with investing. The more you get exposed to, the more that you do, you just get stronger, you know?
Very true. I agree with that. Yeah, you learn so much from other people.
Yeah, you do. So tell us how the creative community has like changed your life and just set you on a different path. Just
Oh
share
my
a couple
gosh.
words.
Oh,
Open question, right?
yeah, so many ways. Like I've met so many people that are doing amazing things. And everybody, honestly, like surprised how supportive everybody is, right? Like
Mhm.
everybody in this community wants to help the next person get their first deal or get their next deal and partner, right? And from the gym
Mhm.
industry, like you said prior to this, everybody was more competitive. Like business owners were
Mhm.
competitive. We're not like this in here, and I love that. And so if it weren't for these communities, I wouldn't be where I'm at. I met my two business partners and we started this business together. I would be nowhere near where I'm at without them. And so, and then of course, Pace starting this vision and us being a part of that is
Mhm.
huge. So this community is everything.
Yeah, I mean it really is, and you
Yeah.
you just don't know what to expect too, because
No.
like one thing could lead to the next, and then
Yeah.
you're doing something completely different, and it's all just like kind of like norm. Like before, you might have friends being like, "Well, why are you skipping? Why can't you stick to one
Yeah.
thing?" And it's just like sometimes you have to try all the things and get your hands and feet dirty because you don't know what
Right.
you're going to like. Like you might start off, and it's really not shiny object syndrome versus like what am I good at? What am I passionate about? What can I scale? And blah, blah, blah. And then again, you meet other people around the way, and then you're like, oh, well, that sounds cool. Let me wedge
Yeah.
myself into this.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's just a conversation away, right?
Yeah, agree. Or a Murph away.
Or a Murph away. Yeah. It's a Murph away. Mhm.
I like that, a Murph away. It's almost like that's like a whole saying. Like we need to get some of these sayings and put them on shirts and like
I
brand it.
agree. I know.
You
Yeah.
know?
Keep the list of all the shirt sayings. I think that'd be great.
Do you miss being a business owner at the gym, or are you
No,
like,
nope,
yeah.
I do not. I do not miss being a gym owner at all. I'm like, if I put like probably half the time that I did
Hmm.
in gym ownership into real estate, I would be 6 times
Oh
more.
yeah, sure.
I mean, you just the work, like I would work 12 to 15-hour days
Oh,
and the income just wasn't there, right? And I'm
mhm.
like, I need to
Yep.
deploy my time somewhere else where I can make more money and help more
Yep.
people. So,
Right. Yeah. Same thing with nursing. Like what I
yeah,
can make in, a simple contract or a closing, or if I'm liquidating my portfolio, that can like literally be my wage for the year.
right.
So it's like to me, I still keep my license just in case.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I always like to have exits to my exits. But
Agreed,
for
I
the
agree
most
with
part.
that. Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Yep,
awesome. So,
yeah.
what would you say, Heather, to someone that's on the fence that has watched the videos, has seen things online, and watched, these lives, but they're just not sure about joining? What advice would you give those people on the
I
fence?
Yeah, I would say stop watching the videos and just do the thing, right? Join.
Mhm.
You can contact me, DM me on Instagram, I'll talk to you, right? I think that and I was this way for a long time. You can listen and learn and listen and learn before you actually take
Mhm.
action on the thing.
Mhm.
Do the thing, right? Because you get to the point where you're not gonna get any further without taking action. So, yeah,
Yeah.
just dive in.
And I love that too because it doesn't you pay it off really quickly. It doesn't
Yes.
and you can join off of someone else's membership too. I don't know. I think you can still do that, but I did that with my partner. So I joined
Mhm.
off of his sub too. And then all three of us went in for, the top tier, and I was already in Gator. So I was in like all
Yeah.
three for like the price of one. I'm like, that's how you
Yeah,
do
as
it.
long as you have an LLC and a partnership, you can
Yeah.
work together. Mhm.
Exactly. So that's a whole other strategy, is getting your buddies together and be like,
Yeah,
hey, come and do
let's
this
do
with
this.
me. And yeah. And if they fizzle out, well, let them fizzle out and you keep sparking.
Right, I agree. Yeah.
Love that. And what is your is that your Instagram handle there?
It is.
Okay, cool.
Yep, that's the
You
best way to reach me is there.
that's the next thing. And so here it is in DM
Yeah.
Heather Kidoo. And so Instagram is the best way to get a hold of you then.
Yeah.
Okay. Not a
Yep.
Facebook girl, huh?
I'm not super Facebooky, no. So, my Facebook, I keep more for family stuff, and my
Okay.
Instagram is more business.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Fair. It's hard to separate them sometimes
it
too, you
is.
know, and you don't know really what to post. And that's a full-time job in itself. It's just
Yeah.
social media. Do you help with that by any
I
chance?
am actually the social media person of our business. So yes, I help.
Ooh.
Yeah, I help a lot of people with their social media. So a little
Okay.
bit different in the sense that we don't just post things for people. We try to,
Mhm.
we have different things that people can take part in where we hold them accountable for their
Okay.
social media, and we help them kind of identify what story they're trying to tell and what they want to get out of their posting and their social
Mhm.
media, and then we help hold them accountable to doing that. And so,
Nice.
yep.
I love that. I'm gonna need help there too, because like I had an interview with Pace back in February, and I haven't even like made any clips and I've been hosting now for like months.
Yeah.
And again, it's just you can only do so much, right? And
Yeah.
before you have to just be like, okay, here, Heather, take it. And Patrick said he was going to be in your
I
DM.
saw that. Yeah, thanks, Patrick. I'll do you back.
And now I know that to communicate, because I sent you a message through Messenger, but I'm not sure if you saw it or not. So I'll
Did you
make
send it
sure.
today?
I think like a couple days ago. I usually
Okay.
try to introduce myself
Yeah.
officially and let
Okay.
everyone know that I'm going to be
Yep.
the host and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So this has been a fantastic
Okay, Tia.
live. Thanks, Taya. And
Thank
speaking
you.
of Taya, if you guys have any wins out there that you want to be on here, send them to Taya, Taya, at pacemorby.com so we can interview you guys and just hear about what you guys are doing. So thank you so much, Heather,
Yes.
for joining me today from the car in my little
Yes.
town.
You didn't have any crazy dings and tings and anything.
I think I might have figured it out. I did hit do not disturb, but I was like, you know how it is when it's like you're
Yeah.
doing 5 different things, you're multitasking, you have 90 web browsers going on. Like
Well,
I'm texting Derek, like my internet's not working. I have to go up
okay.
into town.
I
Yes.
love that. Yeah.
So thank you everybody for joining us today, and it's been awesome getting to know you, Heather. Can't
Yeah.
wait to
Nice to
meet
meet
you in
you too.
person again. I think I met you in person or high-fived you or
I'm
something, but
sure. I high five so many people at those events. I don't even remember.
I know, right? You're welcome,
Yeah.
Patrick.
Thanks,
Thanks for tuning
Patrick.
in, bud.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you again, Heather. You're
You
amazing.
bet.
Wow. And I also got to compliment you too on the QR code in your shirt.
Oh yeah.
Love it. I
Yeah.
love that. I'm a bit of a social media head myself, and so
Are
I'm
you?
listening to you. Oh yeah, I'm just as a sponge as well. But I love the QR code. Keep it up. That's beautiful.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome.
Thanks. Thank you.
Absolutely. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
And I love your website. For those who are watching, please head over to the website. Let me pull that back up here. Let me bring that back up. The website looks awesome. So this is your
Nice.
website,
Yep.
thetc-collective.com. I went there. It's beautiful. It's very aesthetically pleasing. The layout, and I'm a big
Thank you.
I
I
judge
built
things.
that website, so I'll take it.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
it's very attractive. For those who are in the chat right now, head over to the website, check it out. It's streamlined very well, Heather. You
Awesome.
guys are crushing it. Wow. Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you
very
so much.
yeah, but thank you for being on here. You are a rock star. Kimberly, oh my God, no notification bells. I was sitting here anticipating, like, oh God, I
Rockstar
gotta hit this
too.
certain buttons. You crushed
I
it, Miss
know.
Lady. You're amazing.
Yep.
Trying to get myself together and like put some lipstick on and like,
Yeah.
woo!
Yeah, here we go, right?
That was
Here we
amazing,
go.
guys. It
Yeah.
was so wonderful. Loved it, loved it. Thank you for being our wonderful guest today, though, Heather.
You bet.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Okay, we're about to just head out. And before we do, we're going to all smile. Yeah, there it is.